Trading NFTs. In this section, I will be going through the 3 phases of an NFT project. This is absolutely crucial to know if you plan on trading NFTs. If you don't know the 3 phases and what happens to the price of that NFT in each phase, it's going to be really hard for you, literally impossible to get consistent results. So I'll be covering everything you need to know in regards to phases. Once we've covered the 3 phases, I'm then going to go over pattern recognition and show you how you can identify these patterns in any projects which are grabbing your attention. I'll then be walking you through some NFT tools that you can use that will literally give you an unfair advantage over everyone else who are not using them. After that, I'll be showing you another tool to determine how rare an NFT actually is. This is really handy to know, especially if you plan on buying rare NFTs and then trying to sell them for more profit. And lastly, what I'll do is go through a free alternative that you can also use to check out the rarity score of an NFT as well. This is personally one of my favorite sections of the course. Trading NFTs can be really lucrative, especially if you're struggling to get onto the whitelist. So let's get started, and I'll see you in the first video. In this video, I am going to go through the 3 phases of a new collection. If you're looking to get a lot of success trading NFTs, then you need to understand these 3 phases literally inside out. This is so important, because if you don't know what phase your project is in, it's literally going to be guesswork on when you should buy, when should you sell. Those are the typical questions people have when it comes to trading NFTs. However, if you know what the 3 phases are and what typically happens to the price of the NFT in that phase, then you have the most amount of information to go ahead and place the best trades. I actually haven't seen anyone cover this online, and I do believe it's because literally no one is going through these graphs or previous projects in as much detail as me. Of course, I come from a digital marketing background, so I am used to analyzing data and spotting trends. This is where I feel I have a unique USP in comparison to all of the other generic crypto people out there. So what are these 3 phases? Well, the first phase is the minting process. So this is when everyone who has been given a whitelist spot can actually go ahead and mint that NFT, aka turn that piece of code into an actual NFT. Anyone who mints the NFT is going to be the original owner of that NFT. And a lot of projects these days also do public mints as well. So although there'll be a private mint for the whitelist, there can also be a public mint for the public as well. So there can be 2 different stages of minting. It just depends on the project. But essentially, the first phase is going to be minting. Once an NFT has been minted, the next stage is going to be pre-reveal. So this is the duration from when the NFT has been minted before we see the actual artwork. Let's go over to OpenSea and I'll give you an example of what I mean by pre-reveal, as it's very important to understand this. Here we have this new project called Killer GF. This is a brand new NFT project. However, if you look at the data below, you can see there's about 7,700 items in the whole collection. The floor price is 1.59 Ethereum, which basically means that is the cheapest NFT you could buy in the whole collection out of all the items for sale. And you can see there's been 6,300 total Ethereum traded. So a lot of money has gone through this collection. So you're probably thinking, great, well, what does the artwork look like? Well, if you scroll down, you can see the artwork is the same for every single NFT. And the reason why we are seeing this is because this is pre-reveal. No one actually knows what the artwork is going to look like. However, there is a lot of hype behind this project and people want to be involved. So what are they doing? They are buying and trading NFTs before they even know what it looks like. That might sound a little bit crazy, but if you go over to the Twitter for Killer GF and then scroll down, we can see we have a sneak preview of what the artwork is going to look like. And there's lots of hype on this, almost 800 likes, 26 comments on that recent one. Again, so people can get an idea of what the collection is going to look like. And if they like it, they're going to buy into the project before it's even revealed. So this is what we call pre-reveal. So you can actually buy NFTs and trade them when they're in the pre-reveal stage. So that is the second stage of a collection, pre-reveal. The third and the final stage of a new collection is going to be post-reveal. So that is when the metadata for that NFT is going to populate and you can see exactly what your NFT is going to look like. And when it comes to trading NFTs, it is crucial, so crucial that you know what phase your collection is in. As I said, each phase has a big impact on what the price of the NFT typically does. So let me go over to my lovely whiteboard animation, and I'm going to plot these 3 stages on the graph, and I'll show you what typically happens with price. Now, what I'm going to go through, this is based on literally months and months of so much of analysis of seeing what has happened with previous projects and then trying to put together some trends. Now, of course, what I'm going to show you here, there's no guarantee that this is going to happen, but I am going to show you some examples of when this has happened and trying to spot trends. So let's go ahead and plot these trends on a graph. So let's imagine we have a column right here, and this will be like a line chart. And on the left-hand side of the line chart, this is going to resemble the price of Ethereum, right? ETH, Ethereum. So let's go ahead and move this like so. This will be Ethereum, make it a lot smaller. Doesn't need to be that big. And then at the bottom of the chart, what we are going to have is the duration. So the amount of days that pass once the project goes live. Allow me just to delete this just so you can see that. Let's keep that straight. Make it a little bit smaller, doesn't need to be too big. So we have the ETH price on the left, and during the bottom we have the duration. So let's go ahead and put some markers on this chart now to give this some context. So let's have a marker here, we can have one here, and let's go for here, and we'll add one more right here. So at the bottom will obviously be 0, and this is also going to be day 1, right? Day 1 of the NFT collection. So when a project typically launches, people can mint that NFT for a really low price. So if this is 0. Let's say 0.5 ETH, apologies for my really bad artwork, that would be 1 ETH, this will be 1.5, and this will be 2 Ethereum, right? People can mint NFTs for a really low price. It can be anywhere from 0.01 to up to 0.5, even 1 Ethereum if it's a really big project. But typically, people are going to be minting around 0.25. So what happens is when people mint those NFTs, on day 1, when minting happens, there is going to be loads of people who mint for 0.2, and they're trying to flip it for profit straight away on OpenSea and make some money. So if they're minting for 0.2, 0.25, they might be listing that NFT on OpenSea for maybe 0.75. Some of them will list it for 1 ETH, some will do 1.5, some may even do 2 Ethereum. But the point I'm trying to make here is that people are going to be listing that NFT for lots of different prices, and this is all going to happen on the first day when the minting happens. So this is what it's going to look like. Each dot is going to resemble a cell on OpenSea. Let me just zoom in a little bit more just to make sure everyone can see this. There we go, we have the dots right here, lots of random dots coming in at different prices, all on the same day when minting happens. The reason why there's prices in so many different ranges is because people don't know how to value their NFT. Remember, this is pre-reveal. No one knows what NFT they have, if it's a rare one, if it's a common one, so prices tend to fluctuate like crazy on the first day. Some projects can also have a public sale. Now that can happen anywhere from straight after the original mint, the private mint for the whitelist. It can be straight after that, or it can go up to 3 days after. So let's imagine we have the chart right here and we have day 3. So what happens is on day 0, the price chart will look exactly like this. There'll be lots of volume. It'll go right up to the top, to the highest transaction value on OpenSea. It will then come back down, as that is literally due to supply and demand. As more become available on the marketplace, it has a push down on the price of the NFT. It's just basic supply and demand. This literally applies to anything in life. For example, if you are trying to buy a rare car and there isn't that many out there that have been built, then you're going to have to pay more money to get that car due to supply and demand. Whereas if that car was really common and there was millions and millions of them, you could get that car for a cheap price as there is more supply on the market. So as supply comes up, what happens? The price, what we call the floor price, the minimum price of an NFT in that collection, that comes down. However, if there is a public sale on day 3, what's going to happen again? It's going to be exactly what happened when there was the private mint. There's going to be loads of random prices, all coming in at different ranges on the chart. Some people will be listing their NFTs for 0.5, making a quick profit and flipping. They just want to get out of there. They have no intention of holding that NFT for the long run. Some people will be listing their NFT for crazy numbers, such as 2 Ethereum, and getting the sale. Again, people will pay crazy money to get these NFTs because there isn't that many up for sale. FOMO has a big impact on what people do. If people weren't whitelisted and they wasn't able to get one of those NFTs, but when the public sale happens and these get listed on OpenSea, people are more likely to spend more money. So what does that do for the chart? Well, it means there's another spike in volume on the chart. Now, at this point, that means we've had the private mint and we've also had the public mint. So if it's a good collection, that means every single NFT is going to be sold out now. There isn't any more coming. The only way you can get one is if you go into OpenSea on the secondary market and buy one. At this point, every NFT has been sold. They have been all minted out. So the project has completely sold out. So what does that do again to supply and demand? Well, that means because we have more listings on OpenSea, the price is going to come back down for the collection as well. Now, it won't go below the original mint price if it's a good project. If it's a really bad project, this could actually trend and go way down here, which obviously is a really bad sign. However, if you're only getting involved in good projects, which you validated as I showed you how to do earlier on in the course, then you shouldn't have too many issues here. Once the first phase of the process has been done, minting, which is basically going to be all of this part right here, right? The minting is going to be done. Let's go ahead and write down minting so you know what phase this is of the collection. Let's go make that a bit smaller. So this is phase 1, right? This is where everyone go ahead and mint their NFTs. Oh, cut out the text just a little bit. Clearly, I'm not good at this art stuff, but I'm trying my best to explain this. But essentially, this is all going to be the minting phase, right? So that is phase 1 of the collection. And of course, not every project is going to have a public sale. Some projects just might have a sale for the private people on the whitelist. So in that instance, you're just going to see one big increase in volume. Then you'll see the minimum floor price of the collection come down. So what happens after phase 1 is complete? What happens pre-reveal? Now, as I just showed you, not every project is going to reveal the artwork right away. This is the one for Killer GF we just ran through. Here is another recent project called Lives of Asana. It's got tons and tons of hype on Twitter. Again, this is all pre-reveal. They have not released the artwork. Most projects will reveal the artwork within 5 days after the minting has finished. This can vary drastically depending on the project, but basically it is up to the project to decide when the artwork reveals. So let's go back to our chart and let's plot on day 7, right? So 4 days after the minting has finished. Remember, the minting has finished at day 3. That is when the public sale went live. So this line up here should probably be a little bit more in line like that. I've just gone ahead and cleaned that up. Again, apologies for my bad artwork. I'm trying to draw this with a mouse. It is not easy. But essentially, this whole duration right here from day 3 to day 7, this is what we call the pre-reveal. So let's go ahead and get that on the chart so you know what stage this is. This is the pre-reveal, right? The duration from when the NFT has been minted, it's all sold out, and now we're just waiting for the reveal. So what happens to the floor price of the collection during the pre-reveal process? Well, what happens is a lot of people are excited to get involved in the project, and anyone who missed out on the minting process, they are going to be having extreme FOMO, fear of missing out, so they're going to want to get involved in the collection. So typically what happens is for a couple of days, nothing really happens. The price stays about the same. Things flatten out and even out. And then the FOMO kicks in and people want to get involved in the project. So what does that do? It makes them pay more and more money for these NFTs. And the price over these days, 3 to 7, it tends to skyrocket. So it will increase. The chart will go back up towards before the reveal. The minimum price of the NFT in that collection is going to increase before the reveal happens. How much it increased by is going to vary greatly. If it's a really good collection, it can go really high to the moon, but typically you're going to see a small little upwards trend like that. And that's because everyone is excited for the reveal, right? This is where the reveal starts, right? The reveal starts right here. Now, after the reveal, it's pretty much uncertain what is going to happen. I've seen many times where collections release the artwork, they reveal what is on show, and what happens? No one likes the artwork, so everyone sells their NFTs and the price comes back down, sometimes even really low to the price that people minted at, 0.2, 0.25. However, if a collection is really good and it has solid artwork, people tend to stay around and the price goes up, and it goes higher and higher to the moon, and then that is what we call a blue chip project. A project that is going to hold its price for the long term. Of course, there is no guarantee what's going to happen after the reveal. So when it comes to trading NFTs, you want to ideally make sure you sell your NFT before it reveals. Now that might sound a little bit backwards, as why am I selling something I don't even know what it is? I could have a rare. Yes, that is absolutely true. You may get a rare NFT. However, there is no guarantee you will. So instead of having all this risk in our hands, it's way better to sell when we know the price is more likely to increase. Now, of course, what I plotted on this graph, this is a really big over exaggeration. You probably won't see the price go this high in the early stages, but the main takeaway here, what I'm trying to say is that if we have another chart, what happens is going to be an increase in volume during the mint. It's then going to come back down and there'll be another increase in volume if there's a public sale. The price will then flatten and it's simply going to increase in value before the reveal. So it's really important you understand that this stage right here is the reveal when people see the artwork, and after that, it is literally unknown. It could go down or it could go up. So if you're a trader and you're looking at this, you might be thinking, well, surely the best time to buy is going to be here, right? Well, no, because you have to remember the first spike is for people who are on the whitelist. If you're not on the whitelist, then you have to wait for the public sale. And what happens at the public sale? Everyone is trying to process transactions at the same time. So the price of gas is going to be really, really high. So yes, you can get in here and buy an NFT in the public sale, but you will have to pay a lot more in gas fees. So what I found is the best time to get in and actually trade NFTs is going to be this section right here once all the supply has sold out and the floor price starts to level out. If you can buy an NFT in this stage right here, then you pretty much know that before it reveals, it's going to increase in price if it's a good collection. I can't stress that enough. It has to be a good collection. If you're buying NFTs in a collection that you don't know who the founder is, they might have some shady history, then your price literally after here could go down, meaning you will end up losing money. Now, what I'm showing you here, this is based on months and months of analysis. I've looked at so many charts, and what I'm going to do now is give you some live examples and show you just how accurate this pattern is. Now, no one is talking about this stuff, so the fact you are learning this right here means you are ahead of the curve and you have an advantage over anyone else who doesn't even know about these three phases, let alone what happens to the price during these phases. Of course, I do have to add a disclaimer and just say that there is no guarantee that any of this is going to happen. It is all based on predictions, and this is not financial advice. What I'm just simply doing here is sharing with you what I've seen from my own analysis, and I've seen this on so many collections. So in the next video, what I'll be doing is I'll be going through some past collections and showing you the trends and showing you exactly how close they are to what I've been seeing in all of my analysis. That brings us to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back. In the last video, we looked at the 3 different phases of a new NFT collection, and what I want to do in this video is give you some real hardcore data which just shows you that a lot of projects follow this exact pattern which I've managed to discover. It's crazy because if you can identify what stage a project is in, for one maybe you're potentially looking to buy into, then you can make some really solid trades and actually do pretty well for yourself. As we know from what we've ran through already, that the price typically decreases after minting and then increases again before the reveal. So day 3 in this example, minting was finished. So this would roughly be about day 5. This would be day 6. So the time where we're going to want to buy in is going to be between day 3 and day 5. And ideally we want to be selling by day 6, as that is at least 1 day before the reveal, so it gives us a lot of time to get rid of that NFT. You can hold it a little bit later if you want, maybe right until the last moment before the reveal. However, what you're going to find is that some people will get really scared, and if you leave it too late, the floor price can actually come back down even before the reveal. If we get out at least 1 day before, then we know we are minimizing that risk. To trade NFTs successfully, you need to know 3 things. The first thing you need to know is, number 1, when is the private mint for everyone on the whitelist? Is there a public sale after? If there is, that is the second thing you want to figure out. And the third thing you want to figure out is, when is going to be the reveal date? If you don't know these 3 things, then you have no idea when you should be buying into the project. Well, I mean, yes, you could see the price coming down and then going back up. So you might think, I'm going to buy in right here. The price is going up, so I'm going to ride this wave and make money. Little do you know, the project is not going to reveal for another 4 days after, meaning the price is going to come back down, and if you bought in here, you're going to end up losing your money. So it's really important to know these 3 things. So let me give you some real hard data now using 2 projects, and we're going to run through exactly the whole process, finding out every single step of the phase. So we're going to be using this project right here called Metroverse. You may have seen this online. It done really well. It's a massive NFT project. You can see over 100,000 followers on Twitter. If we go into the recent images, this is actually what the artwork is like. So it's not individual pieces of art. It's actually a little block you get in the metaverse. Really cool. And you can see this one in particular sold for 19 ETH, 19 Ethereum, a lot of money, absolutely insane. So this project done really well. So if you was trying to get onto the whitelist for this project and you didn't succeed, you might be thinking, oh, I've missed out my chance. I can't make any money in this project now. However, as we already know, that is completely wrong, as after the minting, we know the price comes back down before going up once again. So if you want to get involved and you missed out on both of the minting stages, this is what you need to do. Number one is you need to know when the minting date was. So we can head over to the Discord, which I've already joined. I've gone into the announcement channel and there's loads of messages in this one, but all you need to do is go through the announcement, scroll down, and you should find some dates about the mint very easily. We can see in this example, the whitelist sale was on the 18th of January. So the whitelist being the one who could do the private minting. Then we have a public sale a day after on the 19th. So if we're following the chart I just showed you, we should see a big increase in volume on the 18th. We should also see it come a little bit back down and then go back up again on the 19th. So let's go ahead and look at the real data for this Metroverse project. So I have that open already in this tab. Now, don't worry about what this tool is. I'm going to run through it in a lot of detail in the next video. But essentially, every dot you see here, this relates to a sell on OpenSea for this specific project, Metroverse. So if I go down to the last 4 hours, for example, and click one of these dots, you can see it's going to open up the listing on OpenSea. The dot I just clicked was this one, I believe, for 1.73 Ethereum. If I click that and scroll down, you can see it sold for 1.73 Ethereum. So what this tool basically does is it pulls in every single sell on OpenSea and it plots it onto a chart, which we can use to then analyze. So let me let this data load for the last 30 days. Go ahead and close that tab. So this is very valuable in data for us to see if we want to trade NFTs in this specific collection. Now it's very small to see. I will try and zoom in a little bit. For some reason it can be a little bit glitchy. Like so. Okay, so we can see the up and down. Go a little bit more, maybe we can see it. It might just take a few seconds to come through. So remember, the mint date was the 18th, so the 19th starts here. So all the action you're seeing before, all these lots of dots and all these sales going through, this is when people were minting it and selling the NFT for lots of money on OpenSea. Some people were selling it for almost 1.8 Ethereum. Some people were selling for 1.5. You can see lots of random prices, exactly how I showed you on my initial chart, right? People have no idea what to sell it for, as the listings they create are some of the first on the market. This is why you're going to see so many random dots in all different price ranges, because people literally have no idea what to price it after. However, after the private whitelist mint, you can see the line does actually come back down right here. It might be a little bit hard to see because the little box above is popping up, but essentially you can see it does this. It goes up, then it comes back down, and then it goes up again, and then it starts to level out a little bit. And this is basically the part I'm referring to right here. I'll put a box around it so it's super clear. That is basically what it does. So the part where it goes up, that is going to be the private mint. When it comes down, that is due to more supply being on OpenSea. Then the supply goes up even more as everyone who buys publicly is allowed to then list on OpenSea. So once again, the price comes down again. This is pretty much textbook of how it happens when a project mints. It goes up, it comes down, and it goes up again. So this is typically how it happens. And we now know that after all the minting has done, the price of that NFT is going to come down. So the floor price for the whole collection is going to be lowered. Now, before you buy in and say, it's going down, I'm going to buy in here, you need to figure out, for example, how far the reveal date is. If the reveal date is only literally, let's say, 1 day away, then that doesn't give you that much time to buy the NFT and flip it for profit. As remember, you want to get rid of the NFT at least 1 day before reveal. So before we even consider buying an NFT in this collection, we need to figure out when the reveal date is. So again, let's go back over to the Discord and see if we can scroll down and find it. We've got greetings. We will continue to add docs. We approach the mint, 5 days and counting. Okay, so more information about the whitelist and the initial mint. So that's quite interesting. You can actually mint this project for 0.1 ETH. Now go back to that chart I just showed you, looking at the cells, you can see people come off this, so that's not in the way. You can see people are literally minting for 0.1 and then selling it for 1.85. These are what we call outliers, really high, but the majority of people were selling around here for about 0.89 ETH. So again, that is a lot of money. It might not sound like a lot because it's 0 point numbers, but if you compare that onto a chart, like 0.1 ETH is about £238 or $238, sorry, at the time of making this video. If people are then selling that 0.1 ETH for 0.85, that's 2,000. That is a lot of money to make in one trade, right? This is why it's so good if you can time the market and come in and make the purchase at the right time, you can do really, really well. Of course, getting whitelisted is an ultimate way to reduce your risk, as you have the opportunity to buy the NFT at a really cheap price. But anyway, let me digress and move on. Let's go back and find out when the reveal date is for this project. So we've got Metroverse update in 2 hours, 7,000 in the block. Okay, cool. Everyone greeting, the Metroverse is alive. Okay, next few hours, sharing information, what you should know. Oh, I think I just saw the word reveal. Upon the reveal, you'll be able to see your blocks. Okay, so the reveal is scheduled for January the 21st. So we can see that the reveal is scheduled for 10 p.m. on January the 21st. So if we go back over to our line chart to see when the reveal actually happened, it should be pretty easy to see as there's going to be a big decrease in volume. And you can see Jan the 21st was here. However, if you remember what they said in the Discord, it was coming out at 10 p.m. So basically towards the end of the 21st. So we'll go back to the line chart. You can see the 21st started here. The 22nd started here. So this big decline right here, well, that is when the reveal happened. It's very easy to see. We have the first initial pumps, which are all related to minting. Again, the price basically stabilizes over these 2 to 3 days. You can see the price then increases before the reveal. And then as soon as the reveal happens, the price goes back down. Now, what happens after this point, from the 22nd onwards, is completely out of your control. If it's a good project, the price will bounce back up. As you can see, it's done in this instance. However, we don't know if it's going to do well. People might not like the artwork, and the price actually could go lower. So it's always best to sell before pre-reveal. So hopefully that demonstrates exactly the phases I was talking about. I do appreciate it is a little bit hard to see on this, but basically it follows the same pattern I was talking about. We have the pumps for the pre-mint. We have another pump for the public sell. The price then stabilizes over the next few days. And then on the build up to reveal, the price increases. Literally textbook stuff, as I was saying. So in this instance, if you manage to buy one of these NFTs when the price stabilized at about 0.62 ETH, you would have spent, let's work that out, you would have spent in this exact example, again, the price of Ethereum changes all the time. At the time of making this video, you would have spent about $1,400 acquiring that one NFT. If you manage to buy in this period right here, which on the chart would be somewhere around here when the price was actually stabilizing, so about 0.54, you could have then sold that before the reveal happened, and you would have got 0.86 for that NFT. That is literally 0.4 Ethereum profit for that trade. 0.4 Ethereum is about $954. Of course, you'll have to pay a little bit in gas fees, but hopefully you can see what I'm saying here. If you come into the market at the right time and sell at the right time, you can do pretty well for yourself when it comes to NFT trading. Now, Metroverse isn't just one example of how this happens. I can literally show you hundreds and hundreds of these charts. Crazy enough about this collection is that you can see after it actually revealed, the price went way back up. And right now, the average price of one of the NFTs in this collection is 1.49. So if you did hold this after reveal, you could still be doing pretty well for yourself. Again, this part after reveal, all of this chunk right here, we have no idea what is going to happen. There's a lot of risk involved. Trading in itself is already risky, so I like to reduce my risk as much as possible. So let me go ahead and give you another example and just show you how this is pretty much the pattern that majority of these collections follow. So here we have another project called Crooks NFT. It's not as big as Metroverse. They've got 12,200 followers, so still a very solid number. You can see what the artwork actually looks like. We've got these clowns, I believe, or crooks. Actually looks a little bit cool. But again, if we want to trade this and we wasn't able to get on the whitelist, what do we need to do? We need to figure out when was the mint date, is it a public mint, and when is the reveal going to be? So I've already joined the Discord and I've got it open on this channel right here. Let's go into Crooks. I then want to go into announcements. Before I even do that, I can actually see the mint date right here. The mint date is the 22nd of February 2022. So we already know the mint date, right? The mint date is on the 22nd. I can also see the mint price, 0.8 Ethereum. But I don't know if there's a public sell. So let's go into the announcements and see if I can see anything. If I go right to the top, what we're on the 15th of Jan. So hey everyone, I'm whitelisted now. What? Okay, I want to see some dates. So you may have to spend a little bit of time just trying to figure out when these dates are, but trust me, it is in your best interest to get this right. If you became, make sure you drop your wallet address for the 1st of Jan, for the 21st. Okay. Yeah, everyone, DM scams. Okay, you're officially 7 hours away from the start of mint. Okay, so this is them just getting everyone excited for the mint. I don't see any mention of a public sale. Okay, scammers have been sliding. Yep, scammers all the time in this industry, like I say. I want to put out a quick update about the real process and how it's going. Okay, so it's gone straight from the mint to the reveal. When is the reveal? Can we see any data, any dates on that? And yes, we can see it right here on the 26th. OpenSea, push complete, refresh metadata to unwrap your crook. So this is basically when they revealed. So the minting happened on the 22nd. It doesn't sound like there was any public sale for this. And we also know the reveal date. So now we know everything we need to know. Mint is on the 22nd and reveal is on the 26th. So we have 4 days to get in, try and flip that NFT and make some profit. So let's go ahead and look at the chart for crooks now, which I've got open here. Oh, it's come off that. Sorry about that. Get rid of that drop down menu. So here we have the collection for crooks by Nikon. If we scroll down, if I go to the last 7 days, might be a little bit easier to see. And as you can see, the first day on the chart is the 23rd. Remember, minting for this collection was on the 22nd. So what do we see? We see 2 big spikes in transactions right before. So there may have actually been a public sale for this, or it could have been a case of gas fees being really high. So a lot of people actually came back in a few hours later and tried to mint then. But you can see it's very, very clear. I just want to zoom in even more. We have a massive increase in volume right here. It goes down. It goes back up again, and then the price stabilizes. Again, this is when you want to be coming into this collection and buying an NFT. And we know already, just from looking at the chart, that this project released on the 26th. So you can see before the reveal, the price increases dramatically. So you see how it goes up, down, price then stabilizes, it goes sideways, and it skyrockets again before the reveal, which is on the 26th. Compare that to what we saw on the actual Discord for this project. Reveal date is the 26th. This is what I am saying. If you spend a lot of time analyzing these charts, you are going to see the same patterns over and over again. So you're going to see a spike in volume for the initial mint. It will then come back down. There may be another spike if there's a public mint. After that, the price will then come down. It will move sideways, and the floor price will increase before the reveal. This is exactly why I recommend that you sell before the reveal. You have no idea what's going to happen after the reveal. In this example, you can see literally after the reveal, the price went completely downhill. So in this example, if you was to hold onto the NFT, you would have been worse off. However, if you bought in during this duration after the minting happened, you could have bought an NFT in this collection for literally 0.09. This is some of the cheapest sales going through the platform at that time. You buy in for 0.09. Again, what is that in dollars to give you some context? You buy for 0.09. That's about $216. You then sell on the build up to the reveal, which is going to be right here. You can then sell that right at the peak for 0.18. So again, you buy in at $214 and you sell out at 0.18. $429. So again, you definitely could have made a good amount of profit on this transaction. Again, not as much as some of the other trades out there, but the main purpose of this video is to show you these patterns and to show you how the majority of these collections work. Now, I want to stress one more time that this is not guaranteed, but this is just what I've seen from doing all of my analysis, and I don't see anyone out there talking about this. So I honestly do believe that if you do really take your time to understand this, you can do really well for yourself in the NFT space. So please make sure you are paying attention to the phases of any NFT project you are currently following. If you know what phase that project is in and you don't manage to get a whitelist spot, then you can still trade it on the secondary market, which of course is going to be OpenSea. So that brings us to the end of this video. What I'll be doing in the next video is I'll be giving you a run through of this tool, IC Tools, and showing you exactly how it works and why I recommend you should actually consider getting access to it if you are serious about trading NFTs. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was a little bit more technical than the others. However, I really just want to highlight how important this is and how unique of opportunity we all have right now in the NFT space. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In the last couple of videos, I went over the theory behind trading. However, what I want to do in this one is give you a practical example. And what better way to do that than to show you a trade that I made last night. Yes, I could have quite easily shown you a trade I made a few weeks ago or even a couple of months ago. However, to ensure this course provides the most amount of value possible, I did a trade whilst recording this course right here. So this is the project I actually traded an NFT in. It's called Goonies Gang, Goonies NFT on Twitter. You can see it's a collection of 8,888 Goonies unleashed to cause havoc in the metaverse, and it's made from the minds behind Transformers and X-Men. So two really big films. If you actually take a look at the artwork, you can see it's actually really cool. It's basically this little duck they have, an angry duck. I'm a big fan of the artwork in this collection. This duck looks really cool, a really ice cold duck indeed. But essentially, this is a big project. You can see they have over 150,000 followers on Twitter. So this is one of their NFT projects that I would call a hype project. There is so much hype around this project. If I just scroll down, if I go down a little bit further than the recent tweets, as that is when they actually launched last night. If I go to any of the random tweets, go a little bit further, we just seen that duck. You can see they've been getting advertisements in New York out there, just advertising all of these banners, the Times Square takeover. Like, these guys are advertising everywhere. Did you see that? Just the logo on all these billboards up in the background. Like, this is a massive project. Again, they're doing real advertisements in the real world. The artwork is really cool, and literally everything they post has tons and tons of engagement. If I just go to this one, you've got like 200 comments, over 1,500 likes, over 700 retweets. They were doing AMAs, like Ask Me Anything with the founders. Again, lots and lots of comments, almost 200 comments, 600 plus retweets, and over 1,000 likes. And people were even getting the logo added onto the bikes as well. If you just scroll through these images, you can see this project had lots and lots of hype around it. So this is why I wanted to get involved in it, right? It's a massive project, tons of hype, and the artwork is great. So of course, I did not manage to get a whitelist spot on this project. It was really competitive. However, that does not mean you cannot make money in this project, as you're about to see in this video. So I actually ended up buying one of these NFTs for 0.21, I believe. Let me just open up the trade to show you. So this is actually the NFT I was involved in. If I scroll down to the bottom of this page to see the item activity and show you where all the magic happened, you can see this person actually minted it. It came from a no address because obviously it didn't exist before it got minted and added to the blockchain. So you can see it was minted by this person. I then bought it off this person and it was transferred to me, which is why it says you. I paid 0.21 Ethereum for that. And then I sold that exact same NFT 1 hour later, as I purchased it 21 hours ago, and I sold it 20 hours ago, so a 1 hour difference, and I sold it for 0.384 Ethereum, so almost double my money. Let me break that down into numbers just to give you some context. So I sold it for 0.384, so if I go over to my calculator, 0.384 ETH is about $1,200, and I purchased it for 0.21, so I purchased it for just under $700 and sold it for around $1,200. So yeah, a pretty decent trade, not one of my biggest, however, it's one I did last night just for the purpose of this course. This is a trade right here, and as you can see, I bought it 21 hours ago, sold it 20 hours ago, so yeah, literally flipped this in less than 1 hour. Let me go through my thought process behind this project and show you how I knew when to enter and when I knew to sell this for profit. So let's open up this project in IC Tools, which again, just to clarify, for those who didn't watch the last couple of videos, IC Tools is an NFT analysis software, and what it does is it pulls in all the sales data from OpenSea and it plots it into a lovely chart like this, so we can very easily see when price is dropping on OpenSea and when price is increasing. If I go to the last 4 hours, for example, and click on any one of these random dots, like this one right here for 0.392 ETH, this is then going to open up the listing on OpenSea where this exact NFT sold for that price, 0.392. Every dot you see on this chart relates to a sell on OpenSea. Before you do any trades whatsoever, you need to find out some crucial information about the project, such as how many people are on the whitelist, what is the price people are paying to mint, when does the whitelist sell happen, and the easiest place to find out all that information, instead of searching through the Twitter account and looking for all of the tweets for announcements, is to literally just join this NFT project's Discord, which I am already in for Goonies Gang. All of these projects are going to have a tab for announcements, as that's where they announce things related to the project. And if we scroll down, you can see there was a post that came out yesterday at 2 p.m. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see we have all the information we need. We've got information about the pre-sale, which is the 9th of February. So I'm actually recording this on the 10th, as you can see from my calendar popping up right here, 10th of Feb. So this was yesterday. And the pre-sale was happening at 10 a.m. Eastern, which if you convert that to UK GMT, that is 3 p.m. You can see there was a 4-hour window for everyone on the whitelist. Okay, great. I can also see the mint price. People who were on the whitelist were able to mint one of these for 0.1 ETH. They could only mint one, and there was a total allocation of 4,000, right? If there's 4,000 NFTs and people can only mint one, once I know that, what I like to do is make a copy of this information and store it on an online note, as it saves me going back and forth to the Discord every now and then when I want to double check this information. So what I typically do is just go into Google, type in online notepad. I open up this website right here, Rapid Tables. I then put some information about this project. So the total supply is how much NFTs are in the total collection. If we go over to the Twitter, you can see it's a gang of 8,888. And if we go over to the Discord, you'll see it says supply right here, 8,888. So let's go ahead and put that supply down on my notes. So total supply of this collection is 8,888. Now, what is the private mint price? Well, we know from checking the Discord, it's a 0.1 ETH. And we know the private whitelist supply, well, there's only 4,000 NFTs allocated. What I want to know at this point is, where is the remaining 4,888 NFTs going, right? Because if there's only 4,000 up for grabs for the private list, where are the remainder going? So let's go back over to the Discord, and you can see below they have a public sale. We can get all the information we need on the public sale. It's on the February the 9th, which is the same day as the private sale or pre-sale. Both mean exactly the same thing. This one is at 2 p.m. Eastern, which I believe if you convert that to UK GMT, that is about 7 p.m. I can see the mint price, which is 0.25, and a total allocation of 4,688. So let's take that number. Let's copy that over here, as that is a private whitelist supply, and the public mint price is 0.25 ETH. Now, some other key things we need to know is time. So what time does this private mint go live? Well, we already know it's 3 p.m. as I've already converted that. And the time for the public one is 7 p.m. So 1900. Now, is there anything else we need to know? Well, yes, because the supply does not add up. The total supply is 8,888. We can see 4,000 here for private, and we've got 4,688 for public. So where is the remaining 200? What's happening with that? Again, let's check the Discord. You can see they're reserving 200 NFTs from the collection for post-mint marketing, collabs, giveaways, and a lot more they have planned. So cool, that covers the whole supply. It's very important you know what is happening with the supply and when, as it's going to have a big impact on the price. If you find out that literally 4,000 are up for grabs and then another 4,000 aren't coming up for another 6 weeks, then that can have a big impact on what you do when it comes to trading. So that's the first thing I like to do. Copy all the information onto a note so I can quickly and easily reference this. I can clearly see the private mint is a lot cheaper than the public mint, which means I am more likely to get an NFT at a cheaper cost if I buy it right after the drop after the private mint. If people are minting for 0.15, people who are in the rush to make money may want to flip that for 0.3, maybe even 0.25. However, after the public mint, people are less likely to price their NFTs below this price or even near this price, as of course, they want to price it a little bit higher so they make profit. So understanding information about the drop is really, really important. Let's go ahead and look at the chart in IC Tools for Goonie Gangs, and you can see exactly how it performed. If I change it to 1 day ago, as of course this dropped last night. And as you can see, we have 4 p.m. right here, 1600. So 3 p.m. is going to be roughly about here, which is when the private whitelist happened. If I zoom in on this just a little bit so you can see it a bit better, instead of you squinting, you can see that when the mint happened just after 10 past 3 yesterday, people were selling these for all different prices. Like, this is crazy, right? This is a literally 10-minute interval between 10 past 3 and 20 past 3, and the prices range from 0.5 literally to 0.28. There's a massive decrease in price, and this is just because people don't know how to price their NFTs once they mint them when there's no historical data, right? Should they sell it for 0.7, 0.2, 0.1, 0.45? There's no historical data, which is why you're always going to see a drastic line whenever a project mints. So if I reset that zoom, you can see at the start there was a massive drop in price because, like I said, people didn't know what to price it for. However, the market always determines what they're willing to pay for that NFT. So it doesn't matter if people list it at 1 ETH, 2 ETH, 3 ETH. If people aren't buying it at that price, people end up lowering the price, and that is when the sales come in. So if I zoom in on that again, if I go for maybe a zoom around here, you can see that the floor started to stabilize around the 0.2 mark. 0.24, 0.25, and you can see it pretty much went sideways. Initially, there was a big downwards trend, although it doesn't look that much downwards now as I've zoomed in quite a lot, but the price went completely down and then it went sideways. And this is exactly what I was showing you in my pattern recognition training. Initially, there's going to be a big spike and then the floor will come down and even out. When the floor evens out, that is when you want to be buying your NFTs. If you literally just wait 15 minutes after mint, so 3:15, you'd end up buying an NFT maybe at 0.33, and you might think that's a good price, right? Because that is cheaper than what it was 5 minutes before at 10 past 3 at 0.45. So always wait for the floor to even out before you determine to buy an NFT. And that is exactly what I did. If you remember from my purchase I showed you, I ended up buying this NFT at 0.21, and have a look at the chart. Well, 0.21 is literally right at the bottom right here, 0.21. I waited for the floor to even out. Now, for a time duration, to give you an idea on when the floor typically evens out on a collection, it's typically between 30 minutes and 1.5 hours. So this project minted at 3 p.m. and roughly at 3:30, 30 minutes after, you can see the price was starting to even out a little bit. However, it's still a little bit too early, so you want to wait another at least 15 minutes, which I did at 3:45, and then you can see the floor has definitely started to stabilize, and you're pretty much good to enter the market and buy one at the floor price. Now, at this point, 1 hour after the mint, around about 4 p.m., 10 past 4 p.m., the total supply had ran out. Remember, the whitelist supply was for 4,000. And what you can actually do in IC Tools is track the number of mints that have happened in the last 24 hours. Now, this says 8,900 as this is after the public sale has happened as well. But essentially at this point at 4 p.m. yesterday, 1 hour after the mint, this number was about on 3,890. It was basically at the 4,000 mark, which means everyone who was on the whitelist has basically minted their NFT. Now, if you're not on the whitelist and you didn't want to wait to the public sale, because of course, when everyone's trying to buy NFTs at the same time, what does that result in? It results in a gas war. You'd end up coming onto the secondary market, aka OpenSea, and trying to buy one of these NFTs. So at this point, all of the supply has ran out. However, there's so much more demand in this collection. So what does that do? Well, when demand is high and supply is low, the price increases. So if I reset the zoom, you can see, if I refresh this, I'm not sure what's happened there to my initial part of that. There we go. You can see that this is the part I was just zoomed in, 0.21. The price increased. If I zoom in on this part again, there we go. That's a little better. You can see the price increased. It literally doubled from the 0.2 ETH mark down here. I went up to 0.4 ETH. And this is where I had my NFT. I was contemplating to sell. And at this point, I was still holding my NFT. I was still holding it into here, as what I was seeing was all these dots were coming just under 0.4, right? I wanted to be patient to see if we'd break through the 0.4 ETH mark and potentially go up to 0.5 and 0.6, as that way I can sell for a higher profit. So I holded my NFT, it was literally on the line of 0.4 ETH, and then as soon as I started to see this chart going down, this is when I decided to sell my NFT. There's no point holding it if the price is going down, as you're literally taking more money away from your profit. So I sold around, I think it was 0.389, if I go back to my sell, 0.384. So yeah, literally right at the end when the chart was declining. Of course, I could have chosen to hold this NFT and literally hold it a day before reveal and then sell it that way. However, like I said, I was just trying to get a flip in very quickly just so I can show you one I've done whilst making this course and not show you some old one from a few months ago. And what's actually crazy about this drop right here is you might be thinking, well, why did the price drop, right? Supply was gone and demand was high. So why did the price go down? Well, crazy enough, there was actually a loophole in the contract. If you remember from the details, people were able to mint one of these NFTs and there was 4,000. Well, what happened was people could mint one of those NFTs, send it to another one of the MetaMask wallets, and then go ahead and mint another NFT. So people were minting more than one NFT, and that resulted in a lot of FUD in the project. Remember, FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So whenever you have that in a project, people don't believe in the project no more and they want to sell their NFTs and the market price starts to go down. Goonies actually spoke about this in the Discord as well. You can see at 7 p.m, literally just before the public sale, there was an update. It's unfortunate to see what happened. We are deeply apologetic to those who are affected. So you can see a lot of people were missing out on spots on the whitelist as they only allocated 4,000. And once they hit 4,000, that was the end of the whitelist. But as people were minting more than one NFTs, a lot of people missed out on the whitelist that they worked so hard to get. So there was a lot of FUD on the project and the price went down. However, there are quite a few big NFT influencers who are part of this project. When I say part of it, I basically just mean they were an advisor. They were not part of the actual team behind Goonies. Well, they spoke up about this, what happened, and this is one example from someone called Brett. I actually showed you this person's account earlier on in the course. Really, really good guy. Definitely go ahead and give him a follow. He puts out a lot of good stuff in related to NFTs. And as you can see, he put this tweet out right here, which says, "For survival reasons, a human brain immediately assumes the worst, most extreme scenario. We have imaginative minds. Many people are scared of planes because it's easy to imagine it crashing. But in reality, the 40-minute car ride to the airport statistically is more dangerous." He then goes on to say, Goonies whitelist was meant to only allow 1 mint per whitelist wallet. There was a workaround that enabled people to transfer their NFT to a different wallet and then mint again. Basically what I just said. They paused the minting and found a solution. If you were on the whitelist, you are still guaranteed your mint at 0.15. Now, this is a really big influencer. Again, almost 150,000 followers in his own right. As soon as he put out this tweet, the project started to skyrocket. And I mean absolutely skyrocket. If I reset the zoom and refresh this again, because the chart seems to be missing, it can be a little bit glitchy, IT tools. Here's the drop. Here's when I bought in, and then here's when I sold, just below 0.4. There's that big decline I was showing you, and literally after he put out that tweet, the price climbed, literally broke 0.4, even broke 0.5, and went to 0.55 at a whole. There was so much volume going through OpenSea, there's a massive gap. OpenSea was actually down for a short period of time, which is why there are no sales here. But you can see literally that one tweet he done had a massive impact on the price. And a lot of you might be wondering, well, why didn't you hold your NFT and sell it here? Well, there was no way to know that Brett was going to put out that tweet and the price was going to skyrocket. You have to be very careful when it comes to trading NFTs. It's very easy to get greedy and try and hold on to your NFT for longer. But if you have made a decent amount of profit and you're happy with the number, then go ahead and sell, because the longer you hold on to your NFT for, the more risk your capital is at. A couple hours after his tweet went out at 7 p.m. You can see roughly here about 9 p.m. You know, once people forgot about that tweet and it was in the past, the price went back down again and it had another spike. And it's pretty much now just going sideways, which is exactly what I showed you in the previous videos in the pattern recognition. Volume comes in, price goes down, it then increases, and then it goes sideways. Before I end this video, I want to give you a more detailed breakdown of this actual trade, as yes, you know, I bought it for about $700 and sold it for $1,200, but there's actually some fees included in this trade, which I want to walk you through, which I have already up here. So I bought the NFT for about $687. I had a gas fee, remember, a transaction fee to purchase that. I set my gas really high just to make sure I could buy one of these and I didn't have any failed transactions. So my total investment buying this NFT was $780. I then sold it for 0.384, which is 1,256. So you may be thinking, well, my profit is just this minus that, right? Well, no, because there are other fees you have to bear in mind. There are two fees. The first is a project fee. Whenever you sell an NFT in a collection, there is going to be a project fee. You can find out what this project fee is by going back to IC Tools and then scrolling up. You can see it says 10% royalty. So every time I sell an NFT in this collection, I have to give 10% of that sale to the creators. I know it is a lot of money. 10% is absolutely insane. There are lots of projects out there which have royalties of 5%, 10%. I mean, if I go over to Trending and open up a couple of them, let's go for Sherbet NFTs, the Weird Ghosting Gang, and we'll just go for this one right here, another random one. They have a 5% royalty, 5% royalty, and they have a 10% royalty. So it's always good to look at the royalty before you make any trades, as that is going to come out of your profit. The second fee is the OpenSea fee, which is 2.5%. So anytime you sell an NFT on OpenSea, you have to give them 2.5% for that sale. So this is my total fees, $124, which is 10% of my sale. And I've got $31, which is 2.5% of my sale. So both of these fees added up together is $155. Minus that from the amount I sold it for. Well, this is my final figure minus all of the fees, $1,101. Now, my profit is going to be $1,101 minus $780, which is, of course, my total investment. So my actual profit for this flip is $321. So I made $321 in literally 1 hour. So not too bad whatsoever. And again, I've done this just by following the exact training I ran through in the previous videos in this section of the course. It all comes down to pattern recognition, looking at the charts, identifying trends, knowing when to buy and knowing when to sell. That brings us to the end of this video. I've been as thorough as I can. I've shown you literally everything you need to know. I've been super transparent as well in regard to the profit. I really hope you appreciate that, as there are so many people out there who pretend to be these fake gurus and aren't even doing the stuff they preach about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back. In this video, I want to show you this tool right here called ic.tools. I did actually showcase this software in the previous video. However, I want to go into a bit more detail and kind of run through exactly what this does and how you can leverage this tool when it comes to trading NFTs. In a nutshell, ic.tools is basically a NFT analysis charting software, and what it does is it pulls in data from all of the collections on OpenSea and presents it in a format that is way more easy to understand and determine what phase a project is currently in. Remember, there are multiple stages a project is going to go through: the minting, the public mint, then it's going to even out, then the floor price is going to increase before the reveal, and IC Tools allows us to see all of this charting information. Now, it does a little bit more than just showing us charts, so let me run through it on a high-level overview. So you can see on the main trending tab, without even paying for a membership, you can get a good idea at what projects are pumping right now. And when I say pumping, I'm referring to a lot of price actions on that project, whether it's going up in price or coming down in price. So we can see for the last 15 minutes, if I filter this to floor, we can see the highest floor price in the last 15 minutes for the projects on OpenSea. We've got this one right here. We've got Alien Friends below. We can see how much volume that has changed. So we can see it's gone up by 4%. The average of the floor price has also gone up by 4%, and the volume's gone up by 3%. So for some reason, this project is pumping. So what I can do is literally open this in another tab and dig into this detail and find out exactly what is going on. However, before I go ahead and do that, I want to run through these main columns we have right here. We have the floor, which is the floor price of that collection, the average floor price of that collection. The volume is the total amount of Ethereum which have gone through that project in the dedicated time you selected. So mine is set to 15 minutes. You can change it to 1 hour, 2 hours, 12, and so on. And if you pay for the pro version, you can break it down even further to 5 minutes and 1 minute. The next column we have is sales. Again, really good to know, as we can see how well a project is doing. And as you can see, literally this just changed as I was making this video. We can see this is now the #1 project on OpenSea that has the highest floor price in the last 15 minutes. The next column is market cap. I don't really pay too much attention to this one, to be honest with you. I don't find it that useful. However, what is indeed useful is the last column, which is the 7-day volume. So here we can see exactly how the volume has been going over the last 7 days. So for this project right here, if it doesn't stop moving, Innocent Cats NFT, never heard of this one before. I can see volume is down by 6%, 8%, 26%, and 20% on sales as well. I can see from the 7-day chart volume, nothing's happened in 5 of the last 7 days. However, in the last 2 days, there seemed to be a lot of volume. This could be a strong indication that this project has just started minting. So we can see this analysis for loads and loads of projects instead of going on to OpenSea and then open them one by one and then analyzing what is going on. So IT Tools pulls all of that information here in one dashboard for you. If you want to get serious about trading NFTs, then I highly recommend you actually go for the premium version, as if I open one of these right now, such as Alien Friends, yes, I can see the high level data, but when I go into that tab, you can see I can't actually see any of the charting software. So the price of IT Tools varies literally all the time. At the time of making this video, I believe it's about $62 per month. So I click Get Premium and then sign in with my wallet, as I already have a membership. Sign that. You can see, yeah, it is indeed $62. I do believe last week it was about $58, so the price changes all the time. If you can afford to pay for this tool, then I highly recommend you definitely consider it, as it is going to give you an unfair advantage. So this charting software right here, what it does, it basically brings in every sell from OpenSea. If I make this maybe 4 hours, you can see these dots. If I make it a little bit bigger by clicking this icon, every dot you see here, what this is basically a sell on OpenSea. So I can see in the last 24 hours, there was 104 sells. And in the last 4 hours of that 24 hours, every dot here is going to reference a sell on OpenSea. Now, the really cool thing about this is we can actually click onto one of these dots and learn more about that transaction. So we can see there was a sell for 3.1 ETH, and straight after there was a sell for 1.584. So why was this sell so much more than that? What made this person spend more money? So what we can do is simply give that a click. It will then open up the page on OpenSea. We can then scroll down just to confirm, yep, it sold for 3.1. This is the transaction which is being pulled into IT Tools. So what I want to do is scroll up and then go to the properties. I want to figure out, why has this one sold for so much money? And it's most likely to do with being a rare trait in regards to glasses. You can see only 0.8% of all NFTs in this collection have that trait. If I go over to Alien Friends and have a look at the actual collection, we can see there is 10,000 items in the whole collection, and as we know from our analysis, less than 1% of them have glasses. So this is why someone paid more money for this NFT. Compare that to the other dot down here, 1.54. Let's give that a click. We can see this one sold for, again, 1.584. If we go over to properties, you can see there isn't any trait whatsoever here that is under 1%. So this NFT is not as rare as the other one, and as a result, it hasn't sold for as much money. So if we was looking to buy an NFT in this collection for Alien Friends, I could literally go over to items. I could go to buy now, and then I can sort this from low to high, which that is already done. And then I can scroll down and find an NFT which has one of these items. I'm not sure what it is, a fish or a man. Well, I'm not sure what it is, but essentially I can find one that is wearing glasses. If I then see one of these NFTs wearing glasses and it's priced on maybe 1.5 ETH, I know that that is potentially a really good buy, as we have data just showing one selling for 3.1 ETH. If I can buy it for a lot cheaper and then list it for maybe 2.9, undercut this one, I can expect to generate a sell pretty quickly. So you can actually add filters on these pages very quickly. If we scroll down and then go to eyes, let's see if we can find one wearing glasses. Glasses, there you go, 80 in total. So we've got 19. So out of the 80 NFTs in the whole collection that have glasses, there is only 19 currently up for sale. So again, make sure that's set to low to high. We can see the cheapest one is 3.7, then it goes to 3.8, then it jumped up massively to 4.5. So potentially, if you was a betting person and you had a lot of money to spare, you could buy both of these NFTs and then list them for 4.4, right? Because you'd still be the cheapest on here and you'd be making a little bit of money. So that is kind of how you can do your analysis, and it's very easy to do once you have access to a tool like IT Tools, and you can very easily spot trends and see where people are spending the bulk of their money. Don't worry about all of this rank stuff right here. This is actually another tool which I'm going to show you in the next video. There's so many tools out there. I've actually tested about 10 different tools. Absolutely insane. There seem to be more and more tools coming out each day. So IT Tools is very good for doing some analysis. Let me just close this tab. I keep opening that. But if I change this to the last 7 days, for example, let's go for 30, as it's pretty sure this is an older collection. Yep, you can see it's been trading since the 30th of December. So you can see we can quite easily identify patterns. So if I just change this to the smaller circle so we can see that much better. Here we have a massive increase in price, a massive spike right here, which is probably leading up to reveal. And then after reveal, you can see the price has gone back down. Again, a very typical pattern of what we see for the majority of NFT projects. We can easily see this pattern because we are using IC Tool and it's plotting the sales onto a line chart. If you wanted to know how the price was actually performing before the current time right now, and you was using OpenSea and you wasn't using IC Tools, then you would literally have to go into the collection page, go over to activity, and then start to scroll down and see how many sales have been coming through. So we've got one 30 minutes ago, this person paid 3.1 ETH, 2.2 ETH, 2.5, 2.9. So whilst this is good to know, it doesn't give us any historic data. What have people been paying for in the past, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Is this price going up? Is it coming down? You don't really know that just from using OpenSea. They do give you a breakdown at the top, which can be a little bit useful for older projects, which in this instance, you can see, we can pretty much see a nice trend. However, when you're looking at new projects that has no historical data, let me go and find you an example. I'll go to trending. Let's open up this one right here, Meta Joson, for example. I can then click this link right here to the OpenSea, as yes, IC Tool also pulls in the most important links for that project as well. You don't have to even worry about going on OpenSea and typing in Meta and then trying to find the collection, making sure you're not getting scammed. You can just click the links already provided on OpenSea. So if I wanted to figure out how this project is going, I could go over to activity. And as you can see now, like the line chart, it doesn't really tell us much, right? It's for the last 2 days. The price has been increasing, but I want to know, are people spending a lot of money on specific rare items, right? You don't know that. You have to scroll down and manually review the data. Whereas on IC Tools, we can literally see what the maximum amount people have paid very easily, 0.4. We can see the floor price as well. Roughly, it seems to be going up a little bit. It seems to be dropping actually. If I make this, let's go for 4 hours. It seems to be coming down, the floor price. We can see in the last hour or so, the floor price is actually going down. If you compare that to what we see on OpenSea, well, it looks like it's going up, right? If I change this to 7 days, which is the shortest duration, I mean, if I was to come in here and want to buy an NFT, I would think, wow, price is going up. It could be a good time to buy, right? Well, no, as IC Tool shows me, the price is actually going down. This is why it's really important to have this data, as it will give you an analysis that no one else has unless they have access to these tools as well. Having access to IC Tools will literally give you an unfair advantage. Another feature IC Tools has is if you're trying to figure out how much volume is coming through a project, on OpenSea, you'd literally have to go to activity, scroll down, and then kind of count how many sales are coming through. What, a minute ago, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Okay. So how long has this been going on for? Has it been going on for hours? Is it just the last 20 minutes? I mean, there's quite a lot of sales, but it doesn't give you a good indication of how volume is going. On IC Tools, you can scroll down below this, and you'll see this bar chart right here. If I change this interval of 5 minutes, basically every bar chart right here is going to resemble volume on the platform. Volume being sales coming through. So we can very easily see there was no sales happening whatsoever in the last 30 days. And then all of a sudden, we can see lots of volume has been happening. And once again, the bar charts are getting smaller. Let's go for the last 7 days right here. The bar charts have been getting a little bit smaller. Hopefully you can see that. I'll try one day. There you go, it's much better. You can see the volume went up and now it's coming back down. So this is really important to know, as it's going to give you more information to decide whether you really want to trade one of those NFTs. And of course, the easier you can see patterns like this, the easier you'll be able to match them up to phases of a collection. Now, I don't recommend you just go over to IC Tools, go over to trending, go to the last 15 minutes and then just filter that by, let's say, sales. That way you can see what projects are pumping. However, you don't know anything about these projects. You don't know when was the mint date. Is there a public mint? Has it been revealed? There's still a lot of research to do. But this is a tool you can use for projects you do know about, easily identify patterns and trends, match them up to the phases I ran through, and it will give you more data and give you a better educated decision of where you should enter the market and at what price you should buy at. And just to clarify, no, I have no association whatsoever with IC Tools. I do not get any money if you sign up or if you don't sign up. I'm literally just sharing the tools that I use, which have helped me make successful trades over and over again. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one where I'll be showing you one more tool. Hello and welcome back to another video in the NFT trading section of the course. In this video, I want to show you this tool right here called opensea. Again, I am not affiliated with this tool whatsoever, but I've been using this tool for the last 3 to 4 months now, and it's made me a lot of money. So what it is basically a sniping bot, and what it does is it gives you data so you can snipe NFTs after they've been revealed, and you can get them at a really good price. So if you remember what I showed you earlier in regards to the phases of a collection, we have the minting, the public mint, and then it decreases in price, increases, and then the project gets revealed. Well, after the NFT is revealed and people can see what artwork they have, a lot of them are not going to be happy with the artwork. A lot of them are going to then sell them on OpenSea, which is why the price typically dips after reveal. However, some people will be listing NFTs that are rare without knowing it for a really cheap price. And if you don't have a sniping tool, then literally for you to figure out if an NFT is rare, you would have to go over to the collection page, go over to activity, ignore all the stuff you see here as this is actually from the tool, but you'd have to open up each one by one. For example, this sold for 3.1 ETH. If we want to figure out why, we'd have to open it up in a new tab, wait for it to load, scroll down, then go to properties, and then see it's got a what trait? 2% of ice cream. So there's ice cream in there somewhere on its head. Okay, cool. And it's wearing blue running joggers, I guess, or a running top. 2%. So again, not really that low, but we can get a good indication, right? So if anyone has an ice cream on their head, this little alien figure, and is wearing a blue tracksuit, then we could potentially buy this and sell it for a lot of money. However, we had to do a lot of analysis just to determine that. You might think that didn't take you that long. Well, when a collection actually reveals, there is going to be so many listings coming up. If I actually turn on listings, this isn't a brand new project which just revealed, but you can see even on this older project, there is so many listings coming through. And what you want to do is to be able to pick up a listing at a good price for the rarity of that NFT and then flip it quickly for a higher profit. So in this specific example, there are 10,000 items in the collection. So when we are using OpenSea, what it is, it's basically a Google Chrome extension and it overlays all this data onto OpenSea. We can see the floor prices very quickly from the whole collection. We can see how rare the NFTs are. We can also get notified if the price drops below a specific figure. For example, if I go back to this tab, we can see the floor price is 2.28. I want to know if someone lists an NFT for 1.6, for example, I want to know about it straight away. Well, you can set that up using listing notifications. As soon as you get notified, go in and buy the NFT and you know you've got yourself a good deal. Of course, be wary that if the floor price is dropping, it could be for external reasons. Maybe there's been some really crazy allegations come out with the founder. There was one not too long ago where one of the founders on a project basically got pulled up and was accused of being racist. And when the allegation came out, the floor price plummeted. So again, make sure you're only looking at collections you know inside out. There's lots of other features as well, such as quick buy, and you can mass refresh. But honestly, the main benefit of this tool is for you to be able to quickly see how rare an NFT is. So opensea actually does this by color coordinating. So blue is going to relate to the top 10% of the collection. So we can see this particular NFT is ranked 588, so just under 600 out of the whole 10,000 collection. So this one is pretty rare, right? And if you hover over it, it says rare, top percent, number 588 out of 10,000. You can click it and then learn about why it's rare. So let's go ahead and do that just out of interest. Why is this one so rare? Let's go to properties. It's got a black tux. So it's in a black tuxedo. Ah, there you go. Oh, it's also got a scuba diver in its mouth. Oh, there you go, on its head, a scuba mask, not a scuba diver. Apologies. But you can see, you can figure out exactly why it is rare. So instead of you looking at this and wasting time, you know exactly straight away this is a rare one. So if you saw this come up for a really good price, a lot cheaper than the floor price, it's going to be a good purchase. Remember, the floor price is the cheapest NFT in the whole collection. If you manage to get a rare one at much cheaper than the floor price, then you can go ahead and try and flip that straight away. Now, I want to stress that you can only use this after a project has revealed. For example, if I go over to another collection, let's go for that one we looked at earlier. Was it Killer GF? This one hasn't revealed yet. If we look at the artwork, just to confirm that, it's all the same. So if I go over to activity, you can see it's not pulling any rank. So opensea isn't that useful in this instance. It's only good if you plan on trading after projects have been revealed. So do bear that in mind. There is a free version of Super C. However, if you go for the free version, it's not actually going to overlay the rarity of the NFTs. It will just let you know the floor price, so like 0.4, which of course is handy to know if you're really far down in the listings. You can quickly see the floor price without having to scroll right up to the top and figuring out the floor price right there. However, to use the paid version and to get the rarity score, you do have to pay for the tool. I will be honest, this tool is not the cheapest by far. You can see you can pay for it on a monthly basis, and it's going to cost you 0.1 ETH. At the time of making this video, I feel like I've said that about 100 times during this course, 0.1 ETH to USD. You can see that is about $242. So it's quite a lot of money, especially if you are starting out. However, if you do use the tool correctly, you can make that back in one trade, as I showed you earlier on in the course, but it is very, very expensive. They do have a lifetime membership as well at 0.5. So if you click that on OpenSea, you can go to that listing page. And as you can see, the floor price in that is 1.2. There's only one thing to buy. So this is 1.2 Ethereum. You can see there's loads of people that own it, over 1,000. I am one of them. It's a big investment I've made for sure. However, like I said, I am serious about NFTs. I'm not just making a course giving you the theory. I am literally doing this stuff myself day in, day out. Those who know me from my previous courses related to SEO and digital marketing, you will know that I don't just say things for the sake of it. So Super C is a really good option. Again, it's very expensive if you are a beginner, but if you are getting into NFTs and you are really starting to invest a lot of your time and money, it's definitely one you should consider. In the last video, we looked at this rarity sniper bot tracking tool called Super C. However, what I want to do in this video is actually show you another tool I came across, as I did promise that if I come across any solid tools, I will update the course to make everyone aware of those. Well, I actually found another tool you can use to work out the rarity score other than Super C. Now, I will be honest with you, it is a little bit more longer than Super C. It's not as convenient and it is missing quite a few features like a buy now button, for example. However, let's imagine you are looking at this collection for alien friends. You then go over to activity to see what is going on the project. You then go to listings, and we can see the average floor price is 2.289. So we start scrolling down and we're seeing listings come up. We've got one for 2.35. So that's actually above the floor price of 2.28. However, this could be a really, really rare NFT, right? This could be the most rare one in the collection. If it is, this could be a pretty good price to get it at, as it's just over the floor price. However, how do you know if this is rare? If you don't have a sniping bot, right? In this instance, I can see it's not rare from using Super C. It's actually ranked 9,182. So it's in the bottom 50% of the whole collection. But what you can actually do is go over to the website we saw earlier, rarity.tools. You can go over to all collections and then type in the name of the collection you are looking at, which is Alien Friends. And then what you want to do is where it says ID, enter in the ID of the listing you are reviewing. So in this instance, it's just moved below. It's going to be 202. So let's go over and we'll go for ID, type in 202 and then click look up. And as you can see, it brings up a rarity score of 50. We can see the rank 9199. We can see all the traits right here, and we can get a very quick indication of how rare this NFT is. And as we can see, it's not really that rare whatsoever. So this is also a different tool you can use to determine the rarity. Of course, you can always just open up that NFT, like I said, in a new tab, wait for the page to load, and then scroll down, go to properties, and then try and analyze what is the most specific trait. So it's just another way you can do things, really. I'm trying to make the course the most comprehensive as possible and show everyone multiple ways they can do things. And that's it for this one. In this video, I want to walk you through something very, very important, which is market phases. This is really important to know because how NFTs perform are market dependent. Now, there are essentially two stages to the market. We have number one, a bull market, and we have number two, what we call a bear market. And just to clarify, when I say the word market, I'm referring to the whole crypto NFT space in general. So to understand how NFTs perform in these different stages of the market, we first need to understand which each stage actually means. So first up, a bull market. Well, a bull market or a bull run is a period of time where the majority of investors are buying, demand outweighs supply, and market confidence is at a high. Or in other words, a bull market is when the markets are experiencing sustained and or substantial growth. So bull markets are absolutely great. That is when things are growing. Whereas the other stage of the market, which is number 2, the bear market, well, that is pretty much the opposite. A bear market is a period of time where supply is greater than demand, confidence is low, and prices are falling. Or, in other words, a bear market is when the markets are experiencing sustained and or substantial decline. So bear markets are not good when it comes to NFTs. And the main reason why is because it is really difficult to trade in a bear market, as you have no idea how people are going to react. Confidence is at a low, there is way more supply than demand on the market, so even if you buy a really good NFT at a low price, there's no guarantee you can sell that for higher due to the reduced demand in the industry. I get a lot of questions from people asking me, when does a bear market end? Well, it's really difficult to predict when a bear market is going to end, as rebounding is typically slow and unpredictable, and it can be influenced by a lot of external factors, such as economic growth. You also have investor psychology, which plays a big role in when a bear market ends. If a lot of people believe that we are still in a bear market, then even if we're not, investors are not going to be spending their money and we're going to remain in that bear market. Some other external contributing factors are events and world news. I'm sure you've seen plenty of things in the news about countries coming out and making statements about crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, that has a big impact on the price of those cryptocurrencies, which has a knock-on effect of how NFTs perform. One cryptocurrency in particular, which has a massive impact on the NFT space, is Ethereum. And the reason why is because the majority of NFT projects these days are all built on the Ethereum blockchain. Let me go over to my browser and I'll give you an example of what I mean in regards to cryptocurrencies and how they affect NFTs. So in front of me, I have up this website called Dune Analytics. I will include a link to this in the resources, but essentially what this does is it tracks the volume across the whole of OpenSea, literally across every single NFT project. This is in USD millions, and you can basically see how much money is being spent on OpenSea every single day. And as you can see, recently, the volume on OpenSea is been going downwards. It is declining. This is an indication that we are currently in a bear market. Volume is on a downwards trend. Now, let's have a look at the price of Ethereum. So if I go to the last month, you can see Ethereum has had lots of drastic changes in a short period of time. But essentially, what you need to know is when Ethereum goes up, NFT volume goes down. We can see the price of Ethereum going up greatly in the last month. If we even go to the last 7 days, take it even more granular, again, the price has gone up a lot for Ethereum in the last week. Look at the volume on OpenSea. In the last week or so, it has been going down. And the reason why volume goes down when Ethereum goes up is because everyone is trying to chase the maximum game and they want the Ethereum out of the NFTs, as of course, it's now worth more than when they put it in. And on the flip side, when Ethereum actually goes really low in price, if I go back to the last month, you can see the price of Ethereum dropped a lot here. Well, this also adds a lot of fear in the NFT space, so NFTs also go down as well. Pretty much when the price of Ethereum goes really high, people want to cash out and take all the profits off the table, and they're more wary of investing in NFTs as the price of Ethereum has gone up. And when the price of Ethereum goes down drastically, it also adds a lot of fear into the space. So typically, NFTs do best when Ethereum is hovering around the same amount and fluctuating a little bit up, a little bit down, but it's pretty much stable. That is when NFTs fluctuate. To give you an example of exactly what I mean in regards to how Ethereum affects NFTs, I saw this tweet the other day, it's actually really good. You can see we have Ethereum here in the green line, and as Ethereum goes up, we have NFTs in the red line and it goes down. So it's pretty much the opposite of what the cryptocurrency does. Which is also why you're going to see tons of articles in the news such as crypto prices are down while the NFT market remains red hot. Here's why, and the reason why is because they are literally on different cycles. When ETH rises, NFTs go down, vice versa. And just as a pro tip, if you ever want to figure out if we are in a bear market or a bull market, literally all you need to do is come over to Dune Analytics and take a look at the volume in the most recent days. We can clearly see it is declining. Another strategy you can use to determine if volume is going up or down in that exact specific moment is to go over to OpenSea, go to stats, and then go to rankings. That is going to show you the top whole collections on the whole of OpenSea. And if you look at the last 7 days, we've got an increase in this project, Hate Prime, where we've got Zuki, another really big project, down 65% in red. This one is also down 65%, down 70%, down 49%, down 62. These two have gone up, but you can see again, more of these projects are going down. So these are the biggest projects out there in regards to NFTs, and the bulk of them are going down. This is a very clear signal that volume is in a downwards trend, meaning we are currently in a bear market. And what is very, very important to know is that the trading strategy I showed you works best in a bull market. So let me go through what I do in different stages of the market, and hopefully that will give you an idea on what you should be doing to make sure the odds are in your favor. When I'm in a bull market, I am really bullish on trading NFTs, as I can confidently predict patterns, when to invest and when to sell. There is so much demand in the NFT space in a bull market, you don't really have to worry about too much of when you're buying and when you're selling. Now, of course, I don't mean you should just buy NFTs at any random price. Do follow the pattern recognition training I showed you, but you have more room for error when it comes to a bull market. So what do I do? Well, when we are in a bull market, I am really bullish on trading NFTs, as I can confidently predict patterns, I know when to invest, and I know when to sell. And even if I do make small mistakes, I enter the market too late or even too early, because we are in a bull market and there's so much demand coming into the space, it gives you more room for error. And when it comes to trading, you can quite confidently predict every stage of the market, when the minting happens, when the price starts to stabilize. You'll see the price increase up to pre-reveal as people are excited. Everyone who wasn't able to mint are FOMOing into the project. They're buying NFTs at crazy price. The price goes high, high, high. Then after pre-reveal, the price is pretty much all over the place. So if you're looking to trade NFTs, then bull markets are your best friend. So what do I do when it's not a bull and predictable market? Well, when it is a bear market, I only focus on hype projects, such as Goonies, for example. That is a project that had so much hype, so I was confident to make a trade, even despite it being a bear market. There's so much hype around the project, there's going to be volume around that specific project in particular. Another strategy you can follow when it comes to bear markets is buy into blue chip projects that you truly believe in. These projects are typically going to be more expensive than the average project because they are blue chip projects, but essentially a blue chip project is a project that you believe is going to do well and increase in value in the long term. The word blue chip refers to long term. If you are completely new to NFTs, then I do not recommend that you make any trades during a bear market, because price action is going to be pretty much all over the place. Here we have an example of a project that minted the other day. You can see here was the mint, it declined, it didn't flatline whatsoever, it just went up, down, up, down, up, down, and it basically continued for the whole duration, and the project is on a downwards trend. Typically, you're going to see a project increase in value before pre-reveal as people are excited and they're FOMOing into the project. However, in a bear market, it is less likely to follow that pattern. So if you do end up buying in one of these dips, for example, maybe around here, below 0.25, you might think you've got in at a good point. However, because there's barely any demand in the industry at that particular time, you can see the price is going to go down, down, down over time, and you're going to end up losing money. In summary, understanding what the two phases of a market are is really important, and even more important, understanding what phase the market is currently in is going to have a big impact on how you approach trading NFTs. Thanks for watching.